What's going on, guys? I'm Marcus from the shop. Another episode. I'm still sick, so sorry for the late review, but I'm actually going to do something slightly different than an actual album review or a reaction. I definitely wasn't planning on doing a reaction to this album because it's Jay-Z, and well, I've been getting hella copy strikes every time I do a reaction to any album, and I wasn't about to do that with Jay-Z. Now, hell no, not with Tidal, not with the secret exclusive shit, because I was about to have them just completely cancel this channel. So I was just gonna go through an old school review, but then I thought about it, and it's like, I feel like there's not much to review other than my honest opinion about the album, how I feel about it, because there's not much to be said about breaking down this album that hasn't already been said before. Like, within the first few hours of this album being released, literally everybody was breaking down the album, breaking down the songs, breaking down who he was sending shots to towards, you know, Kanye, to Kim, with a fake shot to Kim, to Future, to just the apology to Beyonce. Literally everybody in social media was just breaking down this album, the songs, the lyrics, piece by piece by piece. There was memes flying everywhere. I'm still finding new memes, like even now, and today's Monday. So I thought about it. I was like, I'm gonna just give it a couple days and see what I want to do. So instead of giving an actual review, I'm going to talk about like the impact of this album and what it means for the culture, not just for like hip-hop heads or like, you know, hip-hop artists and stuff, but just us, the average people that are just walking down the street, they just listen to hip-hop. And part of it actually stems from this big ass debate that happened on Saturday at the Barbershop. And y'all know when you go into the Barbershop, it's straight guy talk. We talking about sports, music. Part of the reason why my channel is called The Shop. And the big thing that everyone was talking about was obviously Jay-Z's 444. So we're going to be talking about the impact of it. Now, I'm gonna give you my slight little review about the album real quick. Personally, I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. I mean, this album to me is damn near perfect. Perfect. And I don't care. You can call me a dick rider, you can call me a stan. I don't care, just bring it. I really don't care, because I've been a fan of this man since I was literally like 12 or 13. Matter of fact, no, I take that back. Probably since I was like 8 or 9 when Hard Knock Life came out. But 12 or 13, whenever the Black album came out and whenever Blueprint 2 came out, these were like the first CDs I actually purchased with my own like allowance money or whatever, like taking out the trash or just having good grades in school or whatever. Like, these were like the first albums I bought. That's how much I go back with Jay. Like, I literally feel like not only did like part of his music kind of raised me, but I feel like I've also watched him grow. I mean, you go from Reasonable Doubt, jazzy, melodic, gangsterous, mafioso style, and then we kind of go into the more popish commercial side with Volume 3 and his joints he did with R. Kelly, you know, as he's going into mainstream success, and then he's still doing his gangster shit like within the Dynasty, and then he goes into a more mature side in Blueprint and Blueprint 2. You know, this man, when it came out to the Black album, this man literally had everyone throwing away the throwback jerseys that everyone was wearing during the Blueprint era. Started throwing them away, throwing away the two-tone do-rags, all of that, for button-ups. Like, Jay-Z has literally just been changing the game over and over and over again for like decades. So we all know that, you know, that's been said. As far as his album, yes, there's so much you could break down, but honestly, everyone's just been beating a dead horse. I've seen tons of videos of people breaking down the story of OJ, you know, where he's just talking about black people or black people don't matter, you know, light skin, dark skin, rich, poor, whatever. White supremacy gonna still look at you as, you know. Now, going off of that, Kill Jay-Z, we already know. I'll be honest, the first time I heard Kill Jay-Z, I thought he was talking about himself. The whole album, then we obviously know he's talking about Kanye. I mean, he's talking about throwing shots at Kanye because of Kanye talking shit about him last summer. He said, I gave you 20 million without blinking. Turn around, you give me 28 minutes on stage. What the fuck was you thinking? Like, I mean, it's not really a shot. I heard that Kim Kardashian is feeling some kind of way, but like, yo, fuck all that. And I've been having conversations with a few people about that. People were saying, nah, he shouldn't have did that because Kanye is kind of mentally unstable. That's like, nah, dog, he's a grown-ass man. Like, this is hip-hop. When somebody bites, you gotta bite back. So it needs to say all that. To me, I love the album. It's a perfect album. Personally, no, I'll take that back. It's damn near a perfect album. It's only like 9 or 10 songs. My only complaint about it so far, and this is a conversation I had with my sister, is that unlike the Black album, there's real no like conclusion to this album. It's just the last song and then it ends. Kind of like a playlist. When you listen to the Black Album or Reasonable Doubt or even American Gangster, there's an actual concept behind it. There's an intro, there's a story that's going on between, you know, between the songs and everything, and then there's the actual outro that makes it feel like the album is concluding. I don't really get that with 444, and again, I wasn't the one that picked that noticed that, my sister did. But news broke out today that he's dropping a physical copy, so I'm definitely gonna buy that and I'm definitely gonna put it on my shelf. And I hope with that physical album, because they did say they're gonna bring out more songs, that they do decide to make it more of like a concept. Like, I mean, the album already has a bunch of concept. Like, it's pretty much like a guidebook, you know, how to succeed in everything. Taking shots of all these corny motherfuckers, taking pictures with the stacks up to their ear. I always thought that was kind of corny, but he's dropping jewels. It has been said and done. Literally everyone has been beating a dead horse talking about this album. It's been all over Instagram and Twitter. But again, let's go into the actual impact that he's done. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier, this all started when I was at the Barbershop. Normal Saturday, somebody brought the Jay-Z album. Me personally, I was the first person to say, like, yo, I love the album. My barber, on the other hand, he's more of a Nas fan. He was like, yeah, it was okay. The other barber, well, actually his client was like, yo, you bugging. Like, what is it that you don't like about the album? Now, we literally had a debate about that album for about an hour. Everyone was listing off their top 5 favorite Jay-Z albums, and the majority of us had Black Album, Reasonable Doubt, and Blueprint as the top 3. Everything else was like kind of pick or choose. Like, you know, I have Blueprint 2 in my top 5, somebody else may had In My Lifetime Volume 2 in their top 5, and so on and so forth. But those 3 were like, I don't know, they were the Trinity. They were like the Holy Trinity. Black Album, Reasonable Doubt, and Blueprint. Everybody had that in their list, and for good reasons. Now, I will say, the one guy I couldn't agree with, he definitely said that 444 is the best album, hip-hop album that has been released in the last 10 years. And that's why I had to draw the line. I was like, yo, my man, you was bugging. The last 10 years, the best album? Nah, like, to me, like, again, I love Jay-Z, but there's no way this is the best album since 2007. Like, come on, like, T.I., Jeezy, those were in the mid-2000s, Good Kid, Mad City. Like, so many people have dropped albums since then. This is a great album. I love it so much, but it's definitely not the best album within the last 10 years. It may not be the best album within the last 10 years, because I think that's a stretch, especially knowing that this album just came out. So he might just be like overhyping this shit because it literally just came out. So he's probably just on that hype train. But within the last 10 years, I would probably say this is Jay's best work. Personally, I feel like since the Black Album, Jay's albums have been hit or miss. And I don't mean miss as I'm just a whack, but just not to the level of what we expect Jay's music to be. Because after the Black Album, we had Kingdom Come, which a lot of people was like iffy about it. Me personally, there's some songs I like on the album, but it's not all that. It's not an album that I can listen to from beginning to end all the way without hitting the skip button a few times. So Kingdom Come was a miss. After that, he came out with American Gangster. To me, that's a cult classic. In all honesty, he probably wouldn't have came out with that album if the movie did not come out with American Gangster with Denzel Washington. He got the idea from that, so it's like a concept album, but that shit was fire. It's a classic, in my personal opinion. So I think that was in my top 5. So again, fire. The next album after that was Blueprint 3. Blueprint 3 to me, great album, loved it a lot. But then I noticed that I haven't really listened to it since then. I don't know. It was great production, but I felt like he could have came a lot harder, knowing that he had a mixtape out, or at least I had a mixtape out with like Jock and Jay-Z and a few other cuts on it that just made the album sound bananas. Like he was going back to his old roots where he just straight spin like that, real fast shit. And Blueprint 3 wasn't really that. Blueprint 3 was a great album, but it had a real sense, to me it had like a huge sense of pop behind it. So Blueprint 3 was good, but wasn't all that. After Blueprint 3, Watch the Throne. And we were all hype on it because the compilation with Kanye West, you know, one of the best producers in the game versus a legend in the game. Thought it was gonna be crazy. Had some cuts on it, but it's an okay album. And that's what happens with a lot of compilation albums. It gets real hyped up, it gets real sized. Us as fans can't wait for it to come out. But when it comes out, sometimes it could be a little underwhelming. And that's kind of how I felt about Watch the Throne. After Watch the Throne, I told myself I wasn't probably ever gonna buy another Jay-Z album because Blueprint 3 was okay, it was good, but it wasn't what I expected it to be. So Magna Carta came out on the Samsung app, and even though I'm rocking the Magna Carta hat, can't say I'm a huge fan of the album itself. Really can't. I mean, there's a couple cuts on it that I really do enjoy, but as an album, I kind of look at it as Kingdom Come, where it's just like at the bottom of the total list or whatever. At that time, I was like, I'm definitely not gonna buy another Jay-Z album. Fast forward to 2017, 444 comes out. I'm rocking with this shit, man. Like, I really do love this album. Like, it doesn't seem like a Jay project compared to what we had with Magna Carta and Blueprint 3. This is just something that's totally different. Like, this is literally one of his most personal albums. I feel like he's just spewing it all out there. And I saw some people complaining about the album, like, oh, why are you listening to Jay? Like, he's saying some shit that we've been saying as far as, like, owning black business and stop blowing your money at the strip club and stuff like that. True. But how many rappers can you name that actually says that in their music, and not only just in their music, but base their whole album off those ideas? Not many. You can argue that J. Cole and Jay do that, but not to the level as Jay-Z, because obviously Jay-Z is like right here. I mean, we know that. Another thing too, a lot of people were saying that nobody really cares about his apology to Beyonce or Solange, or the Solange situation or the Kanye rant, because that was a year ago. The Solange joint was like 2-3 years ago. Like, why are we talking about this? Well, as we all know, Jay is a real personal guy. So it's like, he either has to bring it out on his own time, or it's just never gonna be brought up again. And yeah, he did it on his own time. Like, again, this is his most personal album, and he just felt like he had to explain the world everything that was going on in his mind. I'm sure he been had bars about the Solange situation and the Kanye rant years prior to that, but the time wasn't ready. A lot of people said that the beats were outdated. It's No ID. Like, I thought this shit was lit. I don't know what they're talking about, because it's not a trap sounding beat. It's not Metro Boomin on the track. No, it's No ID, and it's not necessarily a boom bap beat. But to me, it fits the times. Like, it's something different. Like Kendrick and J. Cole's albums and Chance the Rapper's albums, they're not on that trap sound, but no one's saying that they sound outdated. It's just their sound. I personally love the album. Personally, I really don't know what else to say about the album that honestly has not been said over and over again. So this review is kind of everywhere, because I personally don't really I want to call it a review. It's more of just an impact on the culture of what Jay's been doing, man. Like, I don't know if I want to say I'm looking forward to the next album, because I probably won't get another album. It's like another 5 to 7 years, and I'm cool with it, man. Take your time with the music, man. Like, it comes out perfect. It's like good food. Like, you either want that fast food bullshit that Future, Young Thug, Uzi, all these guys spilling out, which is cool for every now and again, or do you want that mama's home cooked food that takes time and preparation? Again, this is my favorite Jay-Z album within the past 10 years. I love this shit. I don't see why people are complaining about it. I have nothing bad to say about it, other than it didn't feel like it concluded properly. But I'm waiting for the physical copy. So I'm gonna say it's definitely worth buying the physical copy as a rating. Me personally, for you guys who may be a little younger, who probably didn't grow up on Jay like I did, you grew up in like maybe the 2000s, more on that Jeezy and Gucci Mane, Lil Wayne wave, I'd probably say it's worth a download for you guys. Me personally, I'm buying that shit. So for me, it's a 5. But that's just my biased personal opinion. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below, and I'll catch y'all later.